Good morning, Year 8. I hope you're well and all safe. Okay, so here we go. So today's lesson is what's about health and well-being and why it is important. So we're going to start off with our members. That's going to cover the last 2 or 3 lessons. So enough about seeing me. Okay, let's crack on. So you hope you're able to answer the question, what is a balanced diet? What do I need for a balanced diet? So I'm hoping you can remember the 7 important parts of our balanced diet. So they are proteins, fats, water, vitamins, mineral, fibre and carbohydrates. But can you remember how much of each I need and what food would I find in these food groups? So I'd like you to pause the video now and have a go at that for me, please. Okay, so pause the video. Okay, so you should hope to remember our food pyramid. So we start right at the bottom with our fruits and vegetables. They will come into some of our fibres, minerals and vitamins. Then we go to our cereals. Okay, again, carbohydrates, fibres, minerals, vitamins. Then we go to our milk and yogurts, where we'd find our fats, some of our proteins. Move up to our meat, poultry, fish. Again, our fats and proteins and some of our fibres and minerals. And then move up to our last part, which is the nice stuff. It's always the nice we not allowed a lot of. So food and drinks high in fat, sugar and salt. So we get to our fats and we get some waters as well. Not always good for you in large amounts. So that's our balanced diet. So there we go. Okay. So if you need to, please make a note of those food types and which of those 7 parts make up a balanced diet. Okay, so moving on to our next remember slide, we are looking at enzymes and why are they important. So 2 animations here for you. The first one is about my rates of reaction and the second one is about my active sites. So we're going to start with our rates of reaction. Look what happens to the enzyme when our temperature or pH change. So our enzyme there, perfect, starts to denature. Okay, so it's now denatured. Let's watch that again. There we go, and then it becomes denatured. If it's denatured, it can't do the job that it's meant to do. So it can't bind to the substrates. Now, I know we've always spoke about enzymes breaking down food, breaking down those molecules into our carbohydrates, our proteins, our fats, breaking down further, but it also can make things as well. So look what happens here when I get 2 substrates joining to my enzymes. My substrate molecules, and it makes a new molecule. So this is how it can build proteins. So build proteins, let's watch that again. They are protein machines. They build proteins that we use for growth and repair. If you're a bit unsure about any of the enzymes, then go back and look at the last video from Miss Burnett. So this one's all about health today, which is really important moment. Obviously, we're in the middle of a COVID-19. By the time you've heard this, watched on Monday, we'll have found out what's going to happen with schools and the slow social reintegration. Hopefully this will improve some of our health and mental well-being. So, World Health Organization has defined health as: health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So we're going to look at what is physical, mental and social well-being. So, physical well-being. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video for a minute and have a look at the 4 boxes and what do you think they actually mean. So pause the video now. Okay, so hopefully you've paused the video. So, physical well-being. Enjoying being physically active. That means being able to get up, move around, run around, play football, chase other around the playground, all the things that you like to do and you physically can do. The next one, having fewer illnesses, diseases or injury. So not being unwell, getting rid of a disease you have, getting rid of an injury. All these things go towards your physical well-being. So this one here, having good balance, coordination and agility in everyday tasks as well as sports. It's not just sport, it's about having good coordination, being agile when you're walking around, good hand-to-eye coordination. The last one, having the strength, stamina, supplements required for daily life, work and play. That means you're able to carry out your daily life without, stress or injury or any medication. So that is what they class as physical well-being. Okay, next one is social well-being. Now, again, I'd like to pause the video and read the 5 boxes. So pause the video now. Okay, good. So let's go through them. Being able to interact with a range of people and having a sense of belonging. That means interacting with your peers, having a sense of belonging at home or at school or with your friends. So that's one of these social well-being. The next box, having respect, empathy and tolerance for other people. So having respect for yourself, others around you. Being empathetic, having empathy, meaning, you can't always say, oh, I know what, I feel, but feeling empathy for people who are having a harder time than you are. So maybe helping them, helping a friend. Tolerance for other people. That's a really important one. Being tolerant of those around you. I'd like to think that at the Academy, we are a very tolerant academy. We have, almost 1,000 students and we all get on really, really well with each other. There are times when your friends will make you cross or angry. It's how we cope with those situations, how we become tolerant. So, having this one, the next one, being able to manage emotions to suit the situation. That's a hard one. Even as adults, we don't always get this correct. But, if you're upset or you're cross, it's okay to have those emotions, but how we handle them, how we use them, that makes the difference. So if you're upset, you can cry, but not having a complete meltdown. It depends on the situation, but being in manage that, having the ability to be aware of your own emotions is really important. Okay, bring us on to the next one. Being aware of rights and responsibilities. So this is on a much wider scale, not just school. You'll come across this as you go further through into your adult life. Your rights as an adult, your responsibilities as an adult, the rights you have as a human being. This is all in the forefront now. We've just celebrated the V-Day 75th anniversary, the Geneva Convention. All those things that we have are, are rights, that civil liberties that we have, the rights for us as humans, and the responsibilities. Maybe you go and have children, responsibility of being a parent, responsibility of being an adult. So that's a really important one, a much wider application. Right, the last one, recognizing and managing the effects of actions of others. So again, this is maybe a more of an adult based on social well-being, but managing the way that others' actions have an effect on each other. So something that we do as pastoralists, heads of year. We sit down when there's an issue between friends, we talk about them and how they, the way that you act, how it upsets other people, how you may be disruptive in class, all those sort of things about managing the effect on others. So it's not what you do, it's about how that affects other people, and are you aware of the effects on others of your actions. So this is quite a big one. I've not, it's quite hard for me to explain it because you may well have different opinions, and I hope you have different opinions. Year 8, but read those 5 again, pause it and have a real think about our social well-being. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, so we're going to move on to our last one again, which is really important. This is our mental well-being. Again, I'll try to briefly underline these. So I'd like to, before I do that, I'd like to pause the video and read through the fives. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, so hopefully you've read through them. Okay, so the first one, having self-esteem and self-respect. Having respect for yourself, having the drive, determination, you're year 8, you're going to go back to year 9 when school restarts at some point. You'll be starting to look at your options. What do you want to do when you leave school, and having that drive and determination to get there. Self-respect, being happy with who you are, and having some standards. Again, that's quite a hard one to explain. Right. Next one, being able to recognize and express feelings. This one's go back to our emotion on the previous slide about being emotionally aware and how you deal with your emotions. That's express feelings. It's really good to express your feelings, whether they're happy or whether they're sad. Talking to people, recognizing when you're cross, what makes you cross, recognizing that what makes you happy, and doing those things in life so we can express our feelings. Okay, being able to manage emotions to suit the situation. Again, I went through this on the previous slide, but it still goes into that mental well-being. Recognizing and managing the factors that affect emotions. So if something makes you angry, like in class, how can we recognize what this is and how can we manage it? I did a lot of work my year 11s last year about how we can, anger management. If you're cross, if someone makes you cross, not how can you avoid that situation, but can you recognize what thing actually makes you cross and how can you manage it? It could be a really small thing, but how could you recognize it? Right, the last one, feeling positive about life, which includes feeling useful and being optimistic about the future. This one is quite a hard one at the moment. Obviously, I don't know what would have been said yesterday, but I'm quite positive about life. Hopefully we'll have a new sort of normal is one of the phrases everyone's using now, which we should be positive about. Looking forward to going back to school, what this is going to bring. You are living in really, really exciting times here, right? That everybody is. We've never been through anything like this before. So you should be feeling positive about life, and I'm hoping that you're all well and that you are all safe and looking forward to what's going to happen. We've got back to school, got summer holidays, going into year 9, we've got Christmas, all those sort of things, little things about feeling positive. Okay, so those are the 3 things that the World Health Organization class health being. So physical, social, mental. If you can, I'd like to pause it now and write those 3 down, including the descriptions of each of them. If you can't write them down, just take a minute or 2 rereading them. So physical, social, and mental. So pause the video now. Okay, so there is a big link between all 3 of these. So not one by itself will make you healthy. So physical, mental, and social well-being. So I'm going to change tack slightly in a minute, guys. We're going to look at a graph. Okay, so this is a graph. I'd like you to pause the video now, and before I start talking about it, I'd like to look at both axes, look what's on the graph, look at the title that I've put on top, and how do you think that could possibly impact upon your health. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, so this is a graph. It's a few years old, about 3 years old I think it is now, but it's how life expectancy is linked to average income. So if we look right down at the bottom here, they've highlighted Afghanistan. This has got a very, very low life expectancy. And we move up, we've got another here, the highlighted Mexico, again, just below 75. Then as we move up, we've got UK and USA. So Look at the average income per person. This is in US dollars, obviously, 2040. You can work it out for yourself, but look what happens. Why do we get more money you earn the longer your life expectancy? Why would that be? Then look at the very end here. It starts to drop off again. Why might that be? Okay, so pause a bit now, guys, and try and answer those two questions. First one being, why does it increase? And then why does it decrease? So pause the video now. Okay, so obviously life expectancy increase the more money you earn, unfortunately, so you can afford things like better food, better clothing, better housing, better healthcare. That would improve your life expectancy. We go up to UK, USA, so quite average age of 80, good average high income. Then look here, it drops off right at the end now. Why would it drop off? So if you have an income above this, maybe think about having too much. Think about healthy diet. Too much food, too much drink would slower your life expectancy. Not a lot, but just by a little bit. So we have a progress check now, please. So I'd like you to either A, write down the answers, or B, tell somebody the 4 progress checks. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the answers because they are many answers. They would depend upon your own ideas. So check what you've written. Does it add up with what we said about the 3 factors for health: physical, mental, and social well-being? Okay, so we're going to look at this to finish. So, disease. What is disease? Disease is defined as any deviation from the normal structure or function of any body part, organ, or system that is manifested by a character set of symptoms. So, any disease that makes the body not work in the way that it's designed to work is classified as a disease. Right. So, a bit of code breaker here now. So I want to pause the video, and can you work out these 4 words or phrases? So link up the letter. So 3, for example, where's 3? Would be a P. 4 would be an A. So can you work out those 4? So pause the video now and off you go. Okay, did you get them right? First one is pathogen. Second one, communicable. Third one, non-communicable. And fourth one, immune. So we're going to do some more work on diseases later in the upcoming PowerPoints, but we're going to classify some ones that are communicable, ones that means you can pass on, and ones you can't pass on. So at the moment, COVID-19, what would that be? Can you pass it on or can you not pass it on? Clearly we know you can pass it on. These are also other ones that you can pass on. So hepatitis, influenza, measles, TB, salmonella, HIV. Okay, just 6 communicable diseases. I think we would be around the influenza type of communicable disease. Now look at other ones, the ones that you can't pass on. Okay, heart attack, strokes, that links back to our healthy diet, cancers, respiratory diseases. Although you could say that this is linked to this, influenza can cause respiratory disease or distress, but it's not, you can't pass down, you can't pass on asthma, you can't pass on diabetes. Now we're not talking about genetic or passing things down. Okay, there's no link between, genetically passing down asthma or diabetes. Okay, so these ones you can pass on and ones you can't pass on. Okay. Diseases are often correlated. Having one disease may make people more susceptible to others. Why might this be? So if you're unwell, why might you likely to get more diseases? So think about, again, COVID-19, being in hospital, having maybe issues with breathing. How could this affect other parts of the body? So it's got a disease correlation. Okay. It makes it easier for other pathogens to cause disease. One might damage or lower the immune system. One disease damage maybe barriers. We stop from getting disease through our natural body's barriers. Allow pathogens to enter the body more easily. So one disease may affect the organ and stop it working, makes it more likely of others. So if you are having problems breathing, this may, for example, affect your heart, put stress on the heart. So all these things are links. So disease correlation. I might have missed some. I'd like you to copy this down for me if you can, or if not, again, spend a couple of minutes reading it. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to jump back. I want to go back over these slides again. Let's go back, just so that you are happy. So, pathogen, causes a disease. Communicable means you can pass it on. Non-communicable means that you can't. And immune, that is part of your immune system. Tries to protect the body from diseases. So, our list of ones we can pass on, communicable, and ones we can't pass on. Okay, how are they correlated? How can having one disease make you more susceptible to another? Okay. So I'd like you to make sure that you've written these down. Okay. So pause the video again and make sure they're written down. Okay, good. So there'll be a very short quiz. It's just literally, again, a feedback. Did you like the video? Did you find YouTube easier? But I would like you to, for your own peace of mind, as it were, no play on words there, to go and look at these two websites, Mind for better mental health and Young Minds. Both of these are designed, this one especially, with young adults and how you can improve and maintain a good state of mental health. They're both really, really good. So if you just go and click on them and spend a minute or two reading, that's fine. More in depth is down to you. But I'd like you, for any further work, to go and click or go to these two. Just type these in and go to these two websites for me and do a bit of research for me. Right, okay, so until the next time we meet or we talk, keep safe, take care, and I'll see you soon.